Side steps are coming. 4, 3, 2. All you do is step up. Here we go, guys. All right, now get your feet working first. It's a fast pace. All right, now if you want to sit just a bit now, we're not in the most intense part of the workout yet, but you definitely can build to that now. So go ahead and bend a bit. You can feel the thighs engage. Good job.
It's time I talk to you about something.
Strong legs get lean. They don't get big. Don't think of that word strong and think, oh, that's big. No, no, no. Strong muscle gets lean.
Leslie Sansone's Walk at Home. Walk slim 3 fast miles. 3-mile workout. Increase your speed to burn fat fast. Featuring hit music.
We're doing it now. Making the muscles strong. Raising heart rate so you get cardio exercise, aerobic exercise. You're doing it all right now.
Well, let me tell you about my relationship with Leslie Sansone in the first place.
Hey, is your workout in a slump? You gotta call us up. Ah, oh yeah, we'll definitely call Chrissy. Yeah, there. You gotta call the 20-year-olds. We might need a little rest after this. We're the grandmas. Well, this is Grandma Joe, you know. It's Grandma Joe's here. No, we don't need a rest. Don't even say it. We love it. Feels so good.
When I was little, my mother would do Leslie Sansone around the house, and we would do it with her.
Right here, guys, and kick, and kick, and kick. Tuck in tummy, always be mindful of that. A strong core. You know, while you're walking, you can get the core muscles to work harder.
Me and my sisters would do Leslie Sansone with my mom all the time. Although, most of the time, when we did Leslie Sansone, we weren't really doing it. We were dancing to the music. The hit royalty-free music.
You can walk away that waistline, I really believe it.
I never probably actually got much benefit out of doing Leslie Sansone when I was a little kid. Now let's cut to now. Recent, within the past 1 or 2 years. If you haven't noticed, I'm not the skinniest girl in the world. And of course, once you get to be a teenager, you start to get insecure about things like that, obviously, for obvious reasons. And I was like, one day, I was like, sitting around, wondering, I was like, oh, why am I fat? I don't eat that much food. I'm pretty active. And I was like, well, whatever, I didn't seem to be that unhealthy. I didn't, like I said, I didn't eat that much food and I was relatively active. So, but I was like, I must not be doing something right, so I'm just going to start working out. I'm just going to start doing it. And there wasn't really a possible way, not even right now, that I can go to a gym, or anything like that with big fancy equipment. We do have a treadmill, but it is buried under all of our junk. So that's a little impossible to use. And some brilliant people who put it in our house decided to put it in right in the front porch, like in the walkway right next to the front door. So that's like the first thing you see when you walk in. So that means every time we take it out and every time we unbury it to use it, it's a big project, and it's like nobody can come in and out the door without burying it back up again. So can't use the treadmill, can't go to the gym, can't drive, I'm living under my parents' roof, basically, is what I'm saying, and I actually, just because I am homeschooled, but I do have a very busy schedule. I have a job. So, can't go to the gym, can't use the treadmill. What am I to turn to? But good old, but I like the DVD. What am I to turn to but good old Leslie Sansone?
Tighten up and talk to the muscles. Come on. Exhale. 4, 3, 2,
it was kind of like, oh, at first I was like, you know what, I want to work out. I just want to. Like, I'm like, I at least for one time, try it. I'd never really, like, consistently worked out my entire life. I was like 13 when I did this, and I'm only, like, gonna be 15 in a couple days, so, like, this wasn't actually that long ago, and I'm acting like it's a big deal, so, like, anyway, I had, like, just started my job, just, like, officially started, like, high school, so, I was, like, I don't know, I felt like, I felt like I'm growing up. The next big step I need to take is to start working out. So I did. It was more, like I said, it was more like a goofy thing at first. Like, me and Natalie one day were like, we were looking through DVDs and wanted to watch something, and like, oh, Leslie Santone, I remember these! And then so we just did it, and I was like, oh, let me change, because I was wearing jeans and a t-shirt or something like that. So go upstairs, and I look through my clothes to, like, see what I can change it to, and I realize I have, like, no workout clothes. I have nothing to change into to work out. So I had to throw on, like, these weird legging things that are gross that I still have, but, like, I don't really wear them in public. I just wear them for pajamas, and a tank top. And I'm like, this is not really workout clothes. Like, what on earth? Like, I didn't even, I like, you're gonna notice a trend here. I was like, I've noticed that the more I get into this, the more I notice how unhealthy I was before. So we went downstairs, and I did. This is 3 miles, but we did just 1. You don't have to. Like Leslie says.
You know, any of you walking workouts, you can do a mile at a time. You know how to do it. You only have time for a mile. 12, 15 minutes. Oh my goodness, you boost your metabolism, you increase your circulation, you burn calories. If you say, I just don't have a lot of time today, do a mile. 4 and 3 and 2, walk. You will never believe how healthy 1 mile is.
So the next morning, I got up, I ate breakfast, I waited a little bit, I put in the DVD, and I started working out. And I did, yet again, I just did 1 mile, but that's fine. You gotta start from somewhere. So I just made a habit of doing that, and it was just, I kind of just would do that every day. And it started to be in the morning. It was in the morning at first, but then it slowly, my time got, like, I had to do stuff in the morning, and then I just, like, couldn't do it in the middle of the day, so I did it at night. And ever since then, I'd had the habit of doing it at night. I do it from 11 o'clock as my, like, cutoff date. Like, I can't do it I tell myself, don't do it any later than 11 o'clock. If it's 11 o'clock and you haven't worked out, too bad, so sad, do it tomorrow. So, I do this every day. I try to do this every day. Oh, by the way, so I was gonna say something. I do this, I was doing it in the living room for the longest time, and I'm just gonna be totally honest, you guys have seen the vlogs. We're a family of 6 in a tiny little house. We have a lot of junk, and our living room is messy a lot of the time. We're not home often to clean it, so, you know, it's terrible a lot of the time. So working out in there wasn't that the best thing. So slowly, like, but surely, I just kind of migrated to doing it up here, because I think we were, like, in the final processes. When I started doing this, we were in the final processes of making this room the school room. If you can, I think it's in some of my YouTube videos, if you go way back. I know there's a video on Peg Leg Eyes McGee that I uploaded recently, where you can see this room used to be Natalie's room, and it used to look completely different. But recently, like, we completely got rid of everything Natalie. So now Natalie and Lucy are downstairs in that room. Used to be the schoolroom, and this, yeah. So we basically switched it. So this is the schoolroom now, and we had computers up here. We have computers up here that have DVD players. So I just started doing it up here, and that worked out great. So yeah, I'm still doing this, and yeah, I now moved on to doing 2 miles, because that's just what I can fit into my schedule, and 2 miles is definitely more beneficial than 3. So, but yeah. Now, here's the one thing. This is very good for this area of your body, but here's the thing. Look at this. It's not doing much for my arms, so I have an 8-pound weight that I lift like 15 times on each arm every time I work out, or actually even sometimes if I don't do the actual DVD, I will lift that just kind of to keep my arms balanced. And she does some arm stuff like lifting overhead, but that's not that beneficial.
Just raise above the head. All we do is go up and down and up and down. Feels good. Extend the arms high. Come on, reach all the way through the fingers. Ooh, come on. Every joint, every motion, every muscle.
Now, I have many critiques of this DVD. So, the first being, there's dabbing. And this is pretty old. I don't know how old exactly, but it is very old. So, the hit music isn't exactly hit anymore. It's so cheesy. It's just so cheesy. I want to throw up sometimes watching it. Sometimes I mute it, and I'll just work out in silence or plug in and listen to music because it's just so cheesy. I just can't handle it.
Carol, I'm sorry. I gotta just crack up when she does that. Oh, good job. Okay, guys.
Oh yeah, by the way, did you guys know? Oxygen is flying. And that's so healthy for you.
And that heart rate's up and the oxygen's flying from the head to the toe. Oxygen is flying, and that's so healthy for you. Side steps. Ready?
Oxygen is always flying, stupid! I don't know how obvious it is, but I look a little... No, this is not the best angle to prove what I'm talking about. But I think I look a little bit better than I did before. And this is a weird observation. You can see the bones in, like, or at least I can, feel them. Like, you can see the bones in my neck and shoulders, and I could never do that before. Like, I'm realizing weird things now, and, I'm realizing that I was a lot worse than I was. Like, I was a lot worse before I started this than I thought. Like, my wrists look skinnier. I can see bones in my wrist that I couldn't see before. My neck, like I said, my neck looks skinnier. My ankles and feet look skinnier and bonier. It's just weird. I didn't know all this. And here's another thing I was gonna mention. My tummy has gone down a little bit, thankfully. Like, this used to be how I looked sucking. Oh wait, this is not my shirt was wrinkled. This used to be how I looked when I was sucking in. Now this is natural, and this is how I look when I suck in. So my goal is to look like this, and I'll be like fine. But yeah, so I actually have been consistently weighing myself, and I've lost 10 pounds. I used to be 180, now I'm 170. I know 170 is not that, like, skinny or thin, but, like, I mean, that's 10 pounds I lost, and, I mean, I think when you hear 170, you don't think somebody who looks like me. I think I look good for 170, just me. Just my opinion. Also, another thing I've noticed is I kind of have a little bit of a double chin. That's one thing I'm kind of insecure about, but I can't feel it as much anymore. Like, I can still kind of see it in cameras. Actually, I can't see it as much, but I can't feel it really at all anymore. Maybe, like, slightly, but I can't really, yeah, like, I can't really feel it, and it's not as prominent as it used to be. It's going away. Slowly but surely, my double chin's going away. Oh, here's what I was going to say. My tummy has gone down a little bit, but that's not entirely thanks to this. And now here we're going to get to the other things. I already mentioned the weight, but there are a couple other things that probably are helping me lose weight. Yeah. So, I just recently actually noticed, I'm like, you know, I think I need some more, like, core work. Some more, Leslie said some things more focused on, like, your legs and your butt and your whole body, but mostly your legs and stuff. And your stomach, like, a little bit, like, but mostly your legs and stuff. So, I'm like, I added in doing about 10 to 15 leg lifts, every day. I know, like, my sister Natalie picks on me. She's like, you just do, like, 60 leg lifts. In PE class in my school, we do 60. I'm like, well, you're a skinny little 11-year-old, and I'm a fat 15-year-old who hasn't worked out all her life, and now just is getting the hang of it. I can't just jump right in with 60 leg lifts. I have to build up to that. That's another one thing I want to point out. I realized this. I was like, I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing it. But I realized I slowly but surely, because you can't just, this should be common sense. People don't get this nowadays, and that's what causes people to, like, sometimes get eating disorders and overwork because they don't understand this. Like, you can't just jump in. I'm not saying this is the only cause of eating disorders, obviously. I don't understand people, but all the reasons, and we're not going into that. But, you can't just jump in with 5 miles, 100 leg lifts, and lifting 20 pounds on your arm. You can't just jump in with that. You have to build. You don't have to start that small, but, like, it's fine if you start small, as long as you keep building and you don't just stay small. If you just keep slowly but surely, like, every couple weeks, just adding on a little bit something, it's fine. You can't just expect somebody, like, to do that, to just change their entire, like, lifestyle. Not really lifestyle, but, like, you can't just, if you haven't ever really consistently worked out your entire life and all of a sudden you want to, you can't just jump in like that. You have to build to it.